Hello again, higher chemistry students, and welcome back to section E, soaps, detergents and emulsions, where we're going to complete part 2, emulsions. So an emulsion is a mixture of different liquids that ordinarily would not mix together. So for instance, oil and water are immiscible within each other, as in diagram A, and they create two very distinctive layers. If, however, you were to vigorously shake a mixture of oil and water, you would end up with diagram D. Now, this is an emulsion because one liquid, the small droplets of this liquid, are dispersed in the other liquids, but it doesn't last for very long. Very, very quickly, they would start to separate back into their two distinct layers again, as in diagram C. So to create an emulsion that lasts for the length of time, you would have to add a substance known as an emulsifier. And on adding an emulsifier to, for instance, oil and water, you would create diagram D, or an emulsion. So emulsifiers are very common, particularly in foods, and emulsifiers are molecules that allow two immiscible liquids to mix together, because they contain hydrophobic and hydrophilic parts very similar to soaps. But we'll talk about this in the next few slides. Emulsifiers are made when you take 1 mole of glycerol and react this time 1 or 2 fatty acid groups, rather than 3 that we would normally react to form fat or oil. This time we react 1 or 2 to form an emulsifier. And we can see two examples of emulsifier molecules on the slide. So like we said, how do emulsifiers work? Emulsifiers work in a very similar way to soaps. As you know, soaps have two distinctive parts, a hydrophilic head and a hydrophobic tail. The hydrophobic tail dissolves in the oil, whilst the hydrophilic head, or hydroxyl group in this case, because it's an emulsifier, will dissolve in the water, therefore forming a stable emulsion that lasts for a length of time. So examples of emulsions. Milk is a natural emulsion. It's mainly water and some fats. And as you know, water and fats or oils tend not to mix together. However, with the natural emulsifiers of phospholipids, we can bind the fat and the water together to create your natural emulsion of milk. Milk, as you know, has a sell-by date. So naturally over time, the emulsion will break down, and that's why after a length of time, we see the milk separate into the two distinctive layers. We don't drink milk after the sell-by date. Mayonnaise is another example of an emulsion. It's mainly olive oil and vinegar being a lot of water, and to create the mayonnaise emulsion, we add egg yolk, which contains our emulsifier. Another emulsion, which I know I love, which also contains egg yolk as its emulsifier, is ice cream. So just to recap, an emulsion contains small droplets of one liquid dispersed in another liquid. For the emulsion to last a length of time, you add a substance known as an emulsifier. An emulsifier is made when 1 mole of glycerol reacts with either 1 or 2 moles of fatty acid groups. Hence, we form a stable emulsion. Can you now complete exercise 2E part 2 and enjoy?